Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Well, here we are in the second half of October, and there's a lot that goes on in October. World Card Making Day at the beginning, and then of course Halloween in the next few days. But also October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I wanted to share a card with you today to acknowledge that. Like many of you, I do have friends and acquaintances that have been down that difficult path. And so, as I say, today's card is to honour and think of them. So I have chosen today to use as my pink Rococo Rose. Slightly different pink than what we're perhaps used to, but it's a lovely rich pink. So the main focus of my card, of course, is the ribbon, and the support ribbon framelits dies has got two lovely ribbons, obviously a little lapel size one as well as the larger one, and then some leaves and a flower and some lovely hearts, but I'm focusing on the larger ribbon, and both my ribbon and my background I have cut or embossed those with the tufted embossing folder there. So I've done that ahead of time so that you're not watching me just cut and emboss. So my stamp set, as there's a tiny little bit of stamping on this card, is Wonderful Moments, and the one I've chosen to use is I'll be your up when you're feeling down, which I think is perfect for this situation. So with my pieces, I'm simply going to use a little snail to attach my embossed piece here. You can use snail if you prefer. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you'll know that I like to use liquid glue because it gives you a bit of working time. So when you're doing layering like this, you've got a little bit of time just to ease, and here we perfect situation, just to ease the card so that you've got some nice even borders on there. So that's that piece, and then I'm just going to attach it to a piece of the extra thick vanilla cardstock. Now all the dimensions and the information on the supplies will be on my blog, and if you care to look beneath this video, you will see that there is a link to that blog. So that you can find it easily. And then I've got a tiny little piece of the 3/8 scalloped edge lace trim, and I am just going to use a couple of glue dots to hold that on. Again, I think the lace just makes it a little bit more feminine. I'm just going to lay it down like that, and I'm going to then take my ink, and I have a sponge, and just to give my ribbon a little bit more pop, a little bit more oomph on my card, I'm just going to use a piece of Stampin' Sponge just to pull the edges out a tiny little bit, just to give it some more presence like that. And then I'm going to add a couple of extra flowers. Now the punch that I'm using is from the Every Season punch pack, and this is actually for a snowflake, but when you look, it makes the most perfect flowers. So I think I used 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, I'm just going to tip the edges with a little bit of my ink. So this is a sponging technique. I have done a video on it before, but I like it. I like this technique so much when you're using delicate little pieces. It just, again, it makes them pop out of the page. And my last one. There we go. I think I can safely pop that to one side. Out of the way. I'm going to cut my little flowers, and I'm going to use the and I've lost it. I'm going to use, this is a piece of foam here from my little brush that allows me to get bits out when I'm oh, something's fallen on the floor, when I'm using my dies. And I'm just going to use this pointed tool here. This is actually Shimmery Crystal Effects, but anyone who knows me knows that things have to do more than one thing when they're in my toolbox. And I'm going to then just attach my ribbon, and I'm going to use a few of the mini dimensionals, since I'm using working on a small piece of card here. Just pop one at the top. I don't think I'm going to need an awful lot. Okay. Now, you can always use this card design for any of the Courage ribbons. You just need to change out your colours to the most appropriate one. And I did look online, and you can find, if you Google it, you can find lists of the different colours for the different things. So this is a little piece of Blushing Bride cardstock that I've cut with the sprig punch. That's this one. I think it must be one of my favourite punches that we have at the moment. And then I'm going to use some mini glue dots to just attach a couple of these flowers. Just make sure I get them roughly the same here, like that. There we go. I think I need to cut them a little bit more. I managed to flatten them. And then I've got another spare piece here of the Rococo Rose and my greeting, and I'm going to stamp tone on tone, which basically means the colour of my card is the same colour of my ink, like that. And using the Timeless Label punch, another favourite of mine. Just punch that out. And I'm going to use a couple more dimensionals to attach that. Like that. Right. And just pop it down the corner there. And then I'm just going to add a couple more to my last two little flowers. There we go. Just cut them up again because I managed to flatten them each time. There we go. Down there. And then my final flourish, I'm just going to flip this over and get my little pointy end, is I'm just going to put a few yours. And I'm just going to pop them in the middle of my cute little flowers here. So remember that little snowflake punch just makes the most perfect flowers. There's also in that same pack a little heart, a really pretty leaf, and then perfect for your Halloween cards is the is a tiny bat. Okay, so there we are, my card for all those brave people that have gone that very difficult route. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it today. As I say, follow the link below to get the dimensions and the supplies, and then maybe you just hit the little thumbs up to like my video, and maybe even subscribe to my channel so you get notification of when I have new videos out. Well, thank you for your time today. I've certainly enjoyed spending it with you. Bye for now.